Have you heard of house hacking? It's been around for a long time, but this is the latest term for it. For those of you who haven't heard, it's when you purchase a property and live in part of it and rent out the rest. That way your roommates and or your tenants are paying a significant portion, if not all, of your mortgage. There's no question that house hacking is the single best way to generate wealth for those who are at the beginning stages of their journey towards financial independence. Here's why. First, it either dramatically reduces or eliminates one of your largest expenses, your living expense. Second, you build equity for free as your tenants pay down your mortgage, and if you're lucky, your property will appreciate in value at the same time. Third, you save in taxes because you're able to deduct a portion of your house expenses as well as account for depreciation. And number four, you can get into a house hack for as little as 3% down if you're a first-time home buyer. With such little money down, it's going to be tough to find cash-on-cash returns higher on any other type of investment. Hopefully, those 4 points make you see how powerful house hacking is, and before you start making excuses as to why you can't do it, just finish watching this video. Hi, my name's Adrienne Marks, and I'm a real estate broker in San Clemente. Stay tuned for some information that will break down the different house hacking ideas that you can put into play for yourself. I truly believe that one of these forms of house hacking can work for almost anyone. Families, those who live in expensive areas, etc. You just need to get creative. I'm going to run through different types of house hacking that I've seen. I hope that a variation of one of these strategies can work for you. Now let's get started. First, the traditional house hack. Definitely it's the most popular and the one that almost everyone has heard of is the traditional house hack. This is when you purchase a 2 to 4 unit property with a low down payment. The 3.5% down FHA is popular here, but there are other programs out there, especially if you're a first-time buyer. So you live in one unit, perhaps with a roommate, and you rent out the other units. So the rent from your roommate plus the other units should either cover the mortgage or come darn close to covering the mortgage. That way, when you move out, the property cash flows nicely. There are some areas in the country where this is a no-brainer. Living in Southern California can make it a little more challenging, but it's still totally doable. 2, calling the living room home and renting out the rest. Seriously, they call it a living room for a reason, right? If you live in a city where price points are relatively high, it's harder to find a property where a traditional house hack works. There are ways to get creative. Now this is extreme and not for everyone, but if you have the right tenants, it can work and you can own a place with some or all of your mortgage being covered. Back in the day when I was first living on my own, I shared an apartment with 2 gals. They each got a bedroom and my room was the sectioned off living room, and I shared a bathroom with one of them. I was in my early 20s, we all got along, and I was able to live in a really, really nice place. It just all depends on your comfort level with cohabitating. Number 3, renting by the room. This is a strategy that many have used and it can work magnificently. The idea is to purchase a large single-family home that has at least 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and live in one bedroom while renting out the others. You can typically get significantly more in rent when you rent by the room. Purchasing a single-family home, especially as a first-time buyer, opens up a lot of potential financing options. Right now, there are 3%, 3.5%, and 5% down loan options on single-family homes. The low down payment with the increased rents really boost your cash-on-cash returns. I have a client who's blocked off 2 stories on their 3-story house. Each room has its own bathroom and private entrance. So they only use one room and the living area, and then they have 4 rooms that they rent from between $600 and $800 per month. And you guessed it, their mortgage, taxes, insurance are more than covered by the room rentals. We haven't even gotten to the appreciation yet. Single-family homes are known to appreciate more quickly than multifamily ones. This is the case because both investors and non-investors are interested, and with more demand comes higher prices, not to mention that non-investors will typically pay a premium given they are looking for a home, not a deal. Southern California is an expensive place to live. Believe me, I know, I live here. But if you have 3 extra rooms, you can rent out at $600 plus each. That'll cover at least $1,800 of your monthly payment. You'll still have to be able to qualify for the loan on your own. But why not have someone else help you build up your equity, right? Number 4, living in a trailer or RV and renting out your primary residence. This is not as common, but there are some that have taken house hacking to the next level. Some have purchased a trailer or RV for minimal money and have a big enough lot to park it on and live in that and then rent out the property by the room or the entire space. If you're young and single and on the go, this just might work for you since you're never home anyway. Definitely not for most, but for the daring few, this could work. The 5th way is renting out an additional dwelling unit. This is on the opposite end of the spectrum as a trailer and works well if you have a family. Whether you purchase a property with an additional dwelling unit or you build one yourself, it's helpful if the unit can have at least a small kitchenette, an operating bathroom, and a comfortable bed to sleep in. Maybe there's a studio apartment over the garage or a converted garage. Then you guessed it, rent it out. You could rent it full-time or on Airbnb. There's also traveling nurses that go to certain areas. It really just depends on where you live. This way you and your family can have your own personal space in the main house while your guests enjoy their own space in the guest house. Due to the housing shortage in Southern California, there are a lot of cities that are encouraging homeowners to add an ADU. But some come with strings, so make sure you understand all the details before you get into it. Last but not least is the live and flip. This is where you purchase a property that needs some TLC and ideally with a low percentage down payment. You live in the property for at least 2 years, and while living there, you fix it up. Once it's all fixed up and after the 2-year timeline, you sell it and pay no capital gains on the first $250,000 of net proceeds or $500,000 if you're married. You may be wondering why 2 years. Well, in order to avoid paying a significant amount of capital gains tax, you're required to live in there for 2 years. Be sure to check with your tax advisor and make sure that the tax laws haven't changed. The live and flip strategy is nice because it could be combined with the other strategies, with the exception of the RV trailer thing, to create a compounding effect. When combined, you'll significantly increase the value of the property while also garnering more rental income. To sum it all up, in a traditional house hack and the living room strategy, you can live in one unit and fix it up while renting the other. Then switch. If you choose to rent by the room in a large single family home, maybe you add a couple extra bedrooms, redo the basement, whatever. This is obviously easiest because you have access to the entire property all the time. On the ADU, you can build your own ADU or turn, the garage in the back into one. Either way, you'll be able to rent it out, and this will increase the value of your property. There are a lot of different investing strategies out there. House hacking is the best possible strategy if you're looking to have the greatest odds at earning the highest possible return on your investment. The question then becomes not whether or not you should house hack, but what strategy you should deploy. Well, it obviously depends on your situation, what you can afford, and how you're willing to live. This setup comes with trade-offs that not everyone can deal with, but so many different options, there's bound to be one that works for you. If you want to explore the idea of buying a place, the first thing you should do is look at your finances and find out how much you can afford. Yes, there are online calculators out there, but the best thing you can do is to talk to a lender and get pre-approved. I have several lenders that I work with that can help you get this first step done. Although I haven't personally house hacked as described in these scenarios, I do have 18 properties, and I'm house hacking in the sense that the tenant is paying the mortgage for me. And I have a question. If you're already house hacking, how's it going for you? Is it working as you hoped? What do you know now that you wish you had known first? I'd love it if you share your experience. And if you like what you heard here, please subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos each week, so hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you'll be notified the next time a video is out. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.